Hi, I'm Barbara McRae, and welcome to Littleton Common, and a very healthy month of July to everyone. June was chilly, wasn't it? I will say the rain and the cool weather helped my garden grow. Actually, now it's a jungle out there, but July may fool us, and we'll have hot weather. But we shall see. It is New England, and who knows what will happen next. Just don't put away the sweaters or the air conditioner, because you might need both. Rosemary DeBacco is doing a great job with the senior broadcaster, and George Sanders, our Council on Aging Board Chairman, is on top of things also. George has so many ideas and changes in mind, so watch for him next month when he will guest on this show and tell you all about it. We really want this to be a place you'll enjoy visiting. Remember, call our office if you're not getting the newsletter. We want you to be well informed about activities here because we don't want you to miss anything. The broadcaster will give you listings on classes, trips, and activities here at the Littleton Council on Aging. We want you involved, aware, and active. You don't have to go far to be with other people. With gas prices the way they are, you might feel you have to stay home, but no. We want you to come on down here. Have lunch, play cards, mahjong, or Wii. Call for the van or walk if you can. We are here for you. Call 952-2362. You like to read? Well, join our Book of the Month group. Carolyn Harlow and Priscilla Lehman would enjoy your company. And what's the book all about this month, Carolyn?
Well, Barbara, the book of the month this coming month in July is going to be Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. And I have it by some very reliable sources that this is a very funny book. It takes place in a circus. These people meet on a train. The main character's in it. I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but it's very entertaining, and we would love to have you come and join us. Now, if you would like to belong to our club, just notify the library to order you a book for the second Wednesday of the month. And next month, in July, it's going to be July 9th. We meet at 10 o'clock in the library, and it's supposed to be from 10 to 11. They're very patient with us because we gab so much. We're always there till 11:15 or 11:30. We don't just stick to the book, but we do talk about it. I introduce it, or Priscilla Lehman, the president. She couldn't be with me today, but she often introduces a book. We like different members. We have 5 people that belong to our group right now, and we encourage them to come with ideas in a new book. And then we tell Andy in the library, and she orders a number of books for us for the next month for the book club. So, and then you can pick them up a week before we meet. So remember, we're always looking for new members, and we would love to have you join us. We don't demand anything from you. Just come and enjoy. And if you've read a book that you like, come and give a little critique about it. Tell us about it, because we read a lot of books during the month. So remember the date. It is July 9th. That's the second Wednesday of the month in the library. We have our own little room we reserve ahead of time, and we'd love to have you join us. So please do. See you then. Read a good book.
Thank you, Carolyn. Don't forget to notice our new Council on Aging sign on King Street. It's with the town office sign, and Carolyn Harlow did a great job designing it. You've got to try our Wii game. We have such a great time. It's such fun, even just to watch. And it's good for a lot of laughs. So don't be afraid to try it. And you just might impress your children or your grandchildren. And speaking of children, we are looking for teens interested in getting some community service time by helping our Wii game people learn how to set it up and play. We'd love to see you join us. And, you know, you could make it more competitive that way. That would be 1 or 2 hours every Friday morning from 10 to 12. If you come in and see, you might notice that it's of interest to you, and it gives us a good intergenerational outlet too. So seniors, come on in to play Wii, and then join Gail Dalton and her volunteers for lunch at the senior diner. Don't forget the ladies' breakfast on July 10th, and that's at 8 in the morning, and the men's breakfast is on July 16th at 7:30. But let's have Gail tell you more about that. Hi, Gail. What's happening this month at the diner?
Hi, Barbara. Let me tell you what's happening this in the month of July at the Littleton Senior Diner. Like you said before, July 10th at 8 in the morning is the ladies' breakfast. The men's breakfast will be July 16th at 7:30. And don't forget, this month in July, we're having the COA is having their annual barbecue on the July 22nd and ice cream social. So make sure you call me at the site before, I'd say probably a good week before that, so we can just get a head count of everybody that's coming so we know what to buy for supplies, and especially for the ice cream, so we know how many gallons to get and everything. And that's what's happening at the site for the month of July.
I've been reading articles about, you know, Meals on Wheels losing drivers because of the fact that gas is so expensive. So what is happening here in Littleton?
Yeah, that's been a big thing throughout the country with the gas prices, Meals on Wheels and everything. What my company, Minuteman Senior Services, are doing is they're actually paying our drivers their mileage. So we actually increased the price. It was 44 cents a gallon. Now we're paying them 48 cents a gallon. And any driver, any volunteer that wants to get paid mileage, they just come see me, especially here in Littleton, and we'll set up so they can get their own account, and so they record their miles. It's every month they have to turn it into me, so I can turn it into my director, and within about a month they get paid for their miles. So actually, so far my drivers, no one's really complaining yet. They're just saying how long the route is and, you know, how much gas they're paying, which pretty much everybody's doing. But I do know that Minuteman has also increased for the drivers. Some drivers are paid in different towns. They get paid to drive, and they're getting a 3% raise. So, you know, if drivers are interested in not taking the mileage but getting paid, they can actually call Minuteman Senior Services and get more information about that. And, you know, Minuteman is willing to help anybody because they don't want anybody not to receive a meal. So that we're looking at ways to make sure that, you know, definitely 5 days a week, and that people are getting meals. And if people need frozen meals over the weekend, we will supply them during the week with frozen meals, so they'll have meals. So, but we don't really want to deny anybody without meals. So that's what Minuteman's doing to help alleviate the pain.
Well, what about the lunches? Will they be affected by all of this? Like, you know, different meals, less, whatever?
Right now, the only thing that Minuteman's saying is they might have a price increase for the congregate meals, but we really are trying to avoid that. So as long as people keep coming in and, you know, they're eating, and the, you know, Minuteman sees that there's a need to feed people, they want to try to keep the price down. They really don't want to do any increases, but that's kind of been a talk that's in the air right now at our meetings, and nothing's been confirmed yet. So we'll probably set out a notice to let everybody know if something's going to happen before it goes into effect. So
Thank you, Gail. Keep up the good work.
thanks, Barbara. You too.
Let's make it a part of our day to see Gail at the diner. And again, don't forget the summer barbecue and ice cream social, and that's at noon on Tuesday, July 22nd at the diner. Call Gail at 978-952-2362 to let her know that you're coming, because it is a great day. I want to mention the Living Alone group meeting again this month, because this group of people have found it to be a worthwhile hour. That's all it is, 1 hour, but it's full of information and fun. There are about 1,800 senior citizens or mature adults living in Littleton. How many need our help financially, socially, or just a connection? How many don't need anything but perhaps a kind word? There are outlets for our young families, like nursery groups, mommy-daddy get-togethers, school activities. But what about the parents of these parents? Now they need attention. They need us. Let's teach our children to care about elders, so you won't be alone when it's your turn. And believe me, that comes soon enough. Meantime, Tina Mader and the Council on Aging are so proud of our services to the community. We happen to have the best transportation with our van program for our seniors. You'd be surprised how many need this service and should use it when they cannot drive or don't have family to drive them. That's us. We are the extended family who care about our elderly. Tina tells me that the Living Alone group has been active for about 1 year. They meet the third Thursday of the month here at the Council's drop-in room on the second floor. The time for this is about 11:45 to 1:30. This started with basic safety trips for living alone. Cooking for one was next, and now it's more specific and informative. One meeting was titled, "Where Did I Leave My Keys?" Now, why did I miss that one? As everyone knows, I need that class more than anyone else. And by the way, does anyone know where I left my keys? The meeting about long-term care and rehabilitation made everyone feel so much better about nursing homes. Now in July, Brendan Kiernan from New York Life will speak on protecting your nest egg. Does he have kids? And in August, they are planning a fun meeting because this group will share their hobbies. Designing on a dime, from the where else, the thrift shop and yard sales. And the other one will be cake decorating. So come see us and keep cool in our air conditioning, and then go to the diner and have lunch. So call 486-0183 and let Tina know you'll be there. Another place to have lunch is Indian Hill. You bring your bag lunch and listen to great music. So, Evan Thea, what is going on at Indian Hill this month?
Hi, Barbara. Thanks. We're over here at Indian Hill, and Indian Hill is alive with music this summer. Lots of things going on. It's cool, it's close, come on down. We have our exciting summer term going on. You can come in and take a music lesson, whatever you like. We've got some multi-week programs for all ages going on through the summer as well. And for concert goers, we've got our monthly box lunch in July. And this month, it's going to be music of Bach and his buddies with flutists Eileen Yarrison and Andrea Mason, Barrett Strong on the gamba, and Joe DiMarino on the harpsichord. That'll be July 17 from noon to 1, and that's free here at Indian Hill. And you bring your lunch, and we serve you your coffee and cookies, and you'll have a great time. And if you want to give us a call, it's 486-9524, or online at indianhillmusic.org for more information. And July 19 and 20, we've got The Sound of Music. Our summer musical theater children's program is producing 4 shows of that wonderful show, The Sound of Music. And that'll be July 19, Saturday at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. and again on Sunday, July 20 at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Tickets for that show are $12 for adults and $10 for children. And again, give us a call, 486-9524 or indianhillmusic.org online for more information. So we hope to see you here at Indian Hill and have a great summer.
Thank you. We'll see you there. The Explorers are going to the movies in July, and that's on July 29th. Remember, it's open to 10 people if we take the van, because that's all we can hold. Call Barbara Cam at 486-4360 to reserve a seat. Lunch will be at a Chinese restaurant near the theater, and the cost for that is on your own, but the van is going to be $5. And we're going to surprise you about the movie. On July 22nd, the Littleton Council on Aging is sponsoring a Hyannis Harbor cruise. You'll view Hyannis Yacht Club, Squaw Island, Kennedy Memorial, and Point Gammon Lighthouse. We are leaving Littleton at 7:30 in the morning and returning at 5:30 p.m. The cost for this is $51 per person. You'll also visit the Christmas tree shop in Sagamore and have a buffet lunch at the Cape Cod Super Buffet. It sounds like a great day to me, so grab a friend and and sail the seas. Now, just a reminder that the Council on Aging office is now open from 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. And the number here is 952-2362. Our thrift shop is doing very well, and I expect with the way the economy is, thrifty people will use us more often. Save money, come into the shop, because the merchandise changes all the time, and it's purchased and out before we know it. Now, this is one place you can shop till you drop and go home a rich man or woman. We are open Monday through Friday, 10 to 3, so come in and visit with our sales ladies. We have plenty of puzzles and books. Come and check them out. I'm sure you can do that during the hot weather at home, buy your air conditioner, read a book, and do a puzzle. And by the way, we've had a request that the bags of donations not be left by the park and rec doors or in front of the elevators, please. Please send them up to the second floor so we won't be in anyone's way. We thank you for the donations, and we'll try to move them as soon as possible, but we also want to be a good neighbor. The Friends of the Council on Aging Board are welcoming Joe Roy and Ellen Arugio as new members, and thank you, ladies, for giving us your time. Great news this month. I mean, here it is. We finally have it. We have received a wonderful room for more activities for you seniors. The conservation room across from the thrift shop is now a part of the Council on Aging. Woo-hoo! We are very excited about this new room and are hoping to add programs to our list soon. George Sanders is looking at pool tables as we speak. So we hope to see more of you guys when pool is here. Our newly elected select woman, Janet Wilkinson, is giving her time to meet and greet with you so she can listen to questions you might have. This month she will be at the library first floor conference room on July 15th and 29th. No appointment necessary, so drop in to see her, and she might have a few words to say about that. St. Anne's is giving a community festival Saturday, July 26th at 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Date is Sunday, July 27th. There will be food, entertainment, games, and a raffle. Just an all-around fun family day, so try and be there. Save gas. You don't have to drive very far, just to 75 King Street. You can even walk, I'm sure. Many of you can. Now, still to come, Bob Spinozzi and I visited with Mary and Tom Dugan, the new owners of the Littleton Inn. So stay with us and see this welcoming bed and breakfast right here in our own little town. So Bob, you know what? I have really enjoyed doing the Littleton Common shows these past few years. What about you? How have you felt?
You know, it's just great because I've met so many wonderful people, and each story is pretty much on an even keel. But this month, I have a story that has some national prominence to it. We have an apartment complex in Littleton that is going to be receiving a national award. The management companies in Braintree and representatives are flying down to Florida to accept it. So we're going to be talking about that on Small Town. But honest to God, to think that we have a Boy Scout museum where people from all around the world have been to, and it's right here in Littleton.
Right. We have a lot of things. You know, producing a show and doing a show is a challenge, but there are so many things here in Littleton that we find of interest, people of interest, and it's kind of fun seeking them out and getting them to come on the show. I mean, you with Small Town, you've been doing some really, really good interviews, and I've been having fun with the interviews that I've had. So, and of course, we know that without the help,
the ace in the hole.
Yeah, our friend and our chief, Mark Crory, who does a lot of the editing, helps us along, keeps us out of trouble, and, gives us great ideas. We couldn't do it without Mark.
And that's really an important behind-the-scenes thing. When Mark is doing a production, even though it's only going to run on the film, the show itself, for maybe 10 or 30 seconds,
right.
Oftentimes it takes a long time just to get it there and get it just right.
Well, yeah, I can tell you from experience that, editing is a big job. And Mark does a lot of that because I'm still learning. And once in a while he'll put me in the seat and say, now try this out, which is great. And I wish that I knew how to do the whole thing, but he does do that. It helps us so much. And in the meantime, I'm learning a new thing, and I like that. I like that even at my age to do that.
But he also gives us kind of a calming effect. You know as well as I do, when we're standing there in front of a camera, it gets kind of lonely when you're counting down to just before you're going to be getting on the air.
Right.
So
Well, he doesn't give me a calming effect.
No.
Okay. He'll say things
we'll
that get me started. Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we walk down to Mary's and look at the Littleton Inn?
I think that would be a great thing because that's a good thing for our town. That the Dugans have bought this the Littleton Inn and they worked on it. So I have been wanting to go down there and do a story about that. So let's just.
Okay, town hall's a short.
Yeah.
Skip and a jump.
All right, let's go. Hello. How are you doing?
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Nice to see you.
Well,
Welcome to the inn.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Well, we thought we'd come by and visit you and find out things about the inn. And I thought what I would do, Mary, you and I could go and chat a while. And Bob, why don't you take Tom and
Sure.
you guys can do a little history.
All right.
Come right in here, the library. Why don't you have a seat? We'll talk.
Okay. I think I will just sit in this comfortable
Has your
little
name?
chair. Yes, it has my name. And a leopard pillow. So, Mary, this place is like our Littleton House and Garden Show.
Thank you.
Or Little House, This Old House kind of show.
Well, thank you.
Because, I look around and you've done a lot.
It was a beautiful house to start with that had a lot of wonderful features, and it had been taken care of throughout all the years. So that made it easy as far as taking this and just giving it some polish.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've painted the rooms, and you've gotten a lot of wonderful pieces of furniture.
Thank you.
But I know that a lot of it is recycling.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit
Some of the
about
things?
how you did that. I mean,
Well, when you have an old house, it would be funny to put brand new furniture and pieces in it. Part of what makes this so attractive is the character, or the well-loved look. So that extends to furniture. Some of the pieces here have a checkered history. That chair actually was from the original Littleton Inn. The owners, Ken and Louisa, had given it to us, and it sat in my barn for 10 years. And then we recovered it, and it's the focal point of the library. So it's nice to see that return back here.
Mhm.
That beautiful oak table actually came from the transfer station. And I had to fight 2 guys for it, but I won on Thanksgiving.
good, because it really suits this place, and
It
it
does.
belongs here. And, I know that, like myself, we like to find things on the street.
Absolutely.
And do them over, and there's a lot of pieces that people, if they come here to visit, they'll see they're being put to good use. I mean, if in fact you find something here that you threw away, Mary has taken it and she's done a great job with it.
Readapted use.
And readapted it for this place, and you know, I'd be glad to find something that I didn't have anymore here, just so that I could know it was being good used.
Absolutely. We had, we were approached by somebody who had a set of books that, you know, was a treasured possession of a member of her family, and she's asked that can she bring them to one of the rooms because it matches the theme of the room, and you know, that just makes it so much more meaningful. You know, it adds to the inn.
Yes.
No.
Well, everything you have added
Thank
a
you.
lot.
We've had
to the
a lot
inn.
of fun.
And speaking of that, why don't we see what Bob is doing?
Okay.
Let's go to Bob and see what he and Tom are doing in one of the other rooms.
Sounds good.
Robert, thank you. Tom, can we sit here?
Sure thing. Let's see.
In the dining room now. You know what? I have some questions for you regarding the detail of the Littleton Inn. But I understand this is your third restoration now. You started out by restoring an old a building rather in Charlestown, and then you had the older house across the street.
Across the street, correct.
So what was involved in Charlestown?
Well, Charlestown was our first venture. Mary and I decided, what with the price of housing and such, that it may be a better idea for us to get into a place that we could fix up and turn around a little bit. So we found an old house in Charlestown, probably the only one that you'd find in that neighborhood with a driveway. So we were golden. I mean, we didn't have to drive around. If you've been in Boston, you know that during the wintertime, if you have a problem finding a parking space,
If you have a car, you have a big problem.
you have a problem. But there's also the old code where if you dig out a parking space, you were able to put like a couch or something in there, and you could save it for the rest of the year. But that would tend to cause a few border wars. So we were fortunate we didn't have to get into that. But we bought the house, and it was owned by sisters who'd been born in the Sullivan Sisters up on Breeds Hill, close to St. Vincent de Paul Church up there. And it had not been taken it had not taken the greatest care of the house. So when we came in, there were the usual pieces where apparently the sisters had gotten old, and they were living in the kitchen, and they just had a gas stove that they were using to heat the area. They didn't even go up to the third floor, piled high with newspapers and such. So we went in, cleaned it up, and learned a lot. We were able to make a lot of mistakes, and it really didn't matter because we could just go back and clean it up afterwards. But ultimately, we did decide to move out to Littleton, and we were able to recognize a nice profit in the house.
Now, Tom, how old is the home that you live in across the street from here?
Well, the house that we could see is listed about 1815 as the building date. And we tried to find some more history on the house, with the Littleton Town Hall had burned down a few years ago, and some of the records in Middlesex County and Lowell are not as thorough as they could be. We're not absolutely sure. What we do know is that there's been a building on that site much longer than 1815. Inside the house is another house that had been built over. So if you were to go into the attic of this house, you could see the shingles in the roof from the original home, which is wooden shingles and a very, looks like 1700s. We've had some work done by a gentleman from Littleton who was very familiar with these things and been in the basement. And his feeling was that the construction of the basement, the way it was built, indicated the 1600s. So we don't know. We don't know how old the house or what is actually at the site. The building you see, 1815, that's an insurance record, but we believe there's been something there, probably servicing the old cemetery here quite a bit earlier than that.
Of course, looking out your window across the street, this is what you're looking at, and you decided to buy it.
Well, when we moved in, of course, we did meet the neighbors, and Ken Roberts owned the Littleton Inn, and my wife was fascinated with the idea of being an innkeeper in a town, a New England town. And of course, that wasn't something that we even thought about at the time. But over the years, we'd seen that the children started getting a little older, a little more independent, so we weren't as tied down to that piece of it. we did note that Mr. Roberts decided he was going to retire and he wanted to sell the place. And we thought about it at that time, that was 5-6 years ago, and thought, well, the children were still young, really didn't, the price was a bit steeper than we were going to be able to afford. So we had to hold back, and then over those years we've seen it change hands a couple of times. And then when we saw this opportunity this last fall, we thought, well, maybe now's the time to do it, so strike while the iron's hot in that respect. Also, to be honest, the entry of IBM into our little market here made a major difference in our decision.
But insofar as the inn goes, it's an authentic inn, but you've gone to great pains to keep everything authentic. The wide pine floors, you've retained all of the carved mantles, hand-carved mantles.
Well, I think part of what we thought when we took it over is as a guest, what would we want to see? Now, we have people visiting here from all over the world. We're quite surprised, as a matter of fact, at just how much international business we've seen. So, what with Devon's has been quite a pull for us as well. We find that quite a few of the European folks and the international folks, they didn't grow up with Holiday Inns. They didn't grow up with fast motels, and there's an appreciation for inns, smaller type hotels. And in that respect, we wanted to make sure that this place was as comfortable as we could make it for those guests, but also for those visitors who come to visit to see New England, to see some of the older antiquities, if you will, of the United States. Certainly the wide pine floors and the structure of this building is a historic footnote of the area here as well. So we feel that if we kept all those features together and cleaned them up, that's what folks would imagine a New England bed and breakfast would be.
Yeah, and you sit both where you live, across the street and right here, you sit right in the middle of a very historic street in town.
Yes.
It's dotted with from 1860 farmhouse properties like this to properties that reflect the earlier century as well. As you mentioned, across the street, the original part of that house, I'm sure it does go back to the 1700s.
Well, the old burying ground is right diagonal to us, and that certainly with the Revolutionary War soldiers and earlier, that there have been a lot of people coming through this neck of the woods.
Okay, great. Let's get back to Mary and Barbara now.
Well, thanks, Bob. That was very interesting. And there's one more thing I want to add about Tom.
Okay.
I understand that Tom did a lot of repairs here.
Absolutely. Tom is, it couldn't have happened without Tom. He's very handy in everything. So he can do mechanical repairs. He did a wonderful job. Plastering, the floors.
Mm-hmm.
It, when you have a structure this old, it really involves a lot of time-consuming work. There isn't one surface here in the house or one appliance or anything that he hasn't touched. So,
my kind of guy.
yes, he is.
Well, then the inn really was a place that you could, purchase and take care of, because you took care of finding the things to put in it, and Tom takes care of fixing it. And you have to be a team that way in a place like this, especially if it's this old.
We do balance each other well. His skills and mine mesh, and we don't really overlap.
Good.
But it couldn't have taken place without him really doing such the brunt of the work as far as turning it back to 1860 rather than keeping it as a relatively modern house.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's so comfortable. It's very comfortable being
Thank you.
here. Speaking of being comfortable to be here, what's happening with guests? I imagine you're getting some interesting guests, or?
Well, we had no idea what to expect as far as guests coming to the inn. We hadn't been innkeepers in a previous life. We hadn't, we really hadn't paid much attention to it when we were across the street. So it was fascinating to see just the people that come through Littleton. We've had people from all over the world, which was a big, huge surprise. Germany, Korea, Siberia, Egypt, England, Ireland,
Wonderful.
Spain. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And it really is. The internet is a wonderful thing now. It's a global village, and they Google and they find us, and they come here and stay. It's wonderful to have all the different people sit down for breakfast or sit here in the library and chat. You know, I think that's been one of the just one of the pleasures of the inn, is to see people enjoying themselves and finding things in common and just having a pleasant experience.
So maybe they could solve the world problems here.
And you know, the other thing is that it's mostly Littleton business. There are so many small little companies in this area that are vibrant and you know, cutting edge, and it's interesting to see all the people that come, you know, here for business. And I'd say that's probably been the bulk of our guests so far, our international guests who travel here to Littleton for business purposes.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Because you
Never
don't
would
think
have
of,
guessed it.
you know, we say Littleton, it seems like such a little
Exactly.
community. And here you are, you know, they're coming here for business, and they're coming from all over the world.
All over the world.
But I bet that's, I don't know how your children are being involved in this, but
Oh,
it would be a great historic,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely. They
thing for
love-
them, and they can learn things from different people in different countries. Just
Absolutely. Well, we try to make people comfortable. The first big contingent we had was from Germany, from KUKA, which is a robotics company that's currently working at Devon's. And, you know, so I think I talked to you. We tried to research German breakfasts and figure out what they would like. And we never did resolve what exactly a wurst is for breakfast. I've probably purchased 20 different kinds of wurst and never hit the right one.
Did you kept getting the worst ones, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Sorry.
So
Don't make me an innkeeper.
No.
They'd be leaving so fast.
then we had a huge contingent from Korea of Samsung engineers. So, you know, we had to look, you know, see what is involved in a Korean breakfast. And, you know, we never did make kimchi, thank goodness, but they loved the American breakfast. So
Good.
And
I'm sure they want to get some American breakfasts too.
Well, everybody's different. That's the fun part, is to try and learn, you know, the guests and, you know, just make them happy. You know, can I tell one story? And it doesn't have to be, okay. So last weekend, this poor gentleman came via taxi, and he was from Portugal, and he didn't really speak any English, and he was, first of all, he was beside himself that he got charged $100 to get here. So he's fighting with the cab driver in the driveway. Sarah's trying to problem solve. So then he finally comes up to me and he says, "Do you have any apartments?" And I said, "No, I'm afraid I don't have any apartments." Well, went through the roof. So we finally figured out he was here for a hotel room, right? So, you know, got him comfortable, got him in a room. You know, so it hadn't been the best visit so far. Well, the next morning he comes down, gets a cup of coffee, sits at the table, you know, and he's kind of surprised that we have a breakfast. So we serve him breakfast. The next thing I know, he's yelling in the dining room, "Excelente, excelente." He had a camera. I had to take his picture with the breakfast.
Oh,
he
my.
went absolutely nuts. You know, made his trip. Yeah.
Wonderful. How long did he stay here?
Overnight, that was it.
That was it. He'll be back.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He'll be back.
He did have the English to say that.
Oh. Well, see, that's great though. That's a great story.
Well, you never know what's gonna. Yeah, isn't that funny?
Mhm,
So food is the great communicator, boy.
Yeah.
If you can make them happy at the breakfast table.
Can I tell you something?
Huh.
If food is the great communicator, this is the place to come, because this is La Chef. Let me tell you.
Okay.
And
I
always
love-
great food. So I mean, you know, my husband is willing to
Yeah.
come in here for a week just to get
Be a guinea pig.
the breakfast
That's it.
because he loves your food. But yeah, so that's wonderful.
That's
and
the fun
and
part.
I do know that you did make a career change because
Yep.
you were a nurse and now you're an innkeeper. But you know, that maybe goes together a little bit. Who knows?
You know what I think this actually is it's like being a mom
Yeah.
for a lot of people, a
Yeah.
lot of different people. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of the same aspects, you
Uh-huh.
know, you You get them up in the morning, you make them breakfast, you make sure they put their stuff away, you just take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like being mom.
Well, good.
Absolutely. So it's not much of a
Difference.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, I wonder what Tom is telling Bob right now, and what great things he's learning in there. So let's go back to Bob.
Barbara, thank you. Hi, Tom. We're, of course, in the one bedroom downstairs. There are 4 upstairs, and they all had fireplaces, of course,
Right.
and these beautiful mantels.
Yeah, they, each of the rooms does have their own fireplace. Some of them are yet to be restored, so they're not all working. But this is an example of one of the more ornate ones in the house with, as you can see, with the
Period tiles.
the period tiles in the 1840s, and each of these tiles represents one of the seasons, so it lends the name to the suite, which is the Four Seasons Suite.
Each of the rooms seem to have their own nooks and crannies to them. Did you do any? Did you make any changes to the room physically?
We actually didn't change the essential room. We did take a lot of the unnecessary pieces that had been added over the years, some of the things that didn't fit in with the themes, and we did make an effort to repatch, replaster as it was originally, and include the original colors for the period.
Tom, you did great work.
Thank you.
Barbara, back to you.
Thank you, Bob. So, Mary, are there any plans for any other changes? I mean, like maybe gardening or
Absolutely.
rooms or whatever.
Absolutely. We spent, so in the short term, we fixed the inside of the inn and got it up and running. And we do have a number of long-term plans.
Good.
We do see the inn evolving over the next couple of years. First is to do the exterior this summer, and just the gardens, my favorite part, of course, and spruce up the exterior. And then I think eventually, in the long term, we do see becoming more of an inn. We're looking to maybe extend the backyard and put a conservatory, so a winter space where people could sit outside in greenery.
Nice.
Yeah, Japanese hot tub.
Oh no.
Maybe a little breakfast courtyard.
You won't have room for people from out of the country or out of state because it'll be all
Littleton.
people from Littleton coming here, booking the place overnight.
Absolutely. So I do think, our focus right now is to do well at running the inn, to become the best innkeepers that we can. So we do appreciate feedback from all our guests. We try our hardest to make them happy. We've had lovely reviews on TripAdvisor, which has been, positive. It's been wonderful for us to have people appreciate. But I do think, we want to keep getting better.
Right.
And that I think will mean expanding eventually the inn into the whole structure and putting in a function room. We've looked into, eventually renovating the kitchen and maybe expanding its use.
Good.
But those are long range down the road. As we get better at this.
But it's wonderful things to look forward to.
Absolutely.
You found your niche.
Absolutely.
And now, these plans are great, and they're also, I don't know how your children feel about it, but I think it's great plans for them too.
Absolutely. They have been as invested and involved as we are.
Good.
So they interact with all the guests. It's wonderful to see them have manners. I'm sorry.
They have them. They just just didn't tell you about it. They were holding them for this.
It's wonderful. They are able to carry on conversations with people from all walks of life. They help as far as maintaining the inn, serving breakfast. They seem to get as much pleasure out of it as we do.
Good.
And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be difficult.
This is a good family business.
It's a perfect family business.
Yes, great.
And that's what the original owners had told us. They had 3 daughters grow up here while they ran the inn, and they said it was such a positive experience for their family. So
Good.
That was nice to know.
I like that.
Tom, when we first looked at the inn, the first thing Tom said was, I want this to be the Bedford Village Inn. I don't know if you can put that in. That's a plug, kind of. And that's a beautiful inn up in Bedford, New Hampshire. So he is definitely the vision person. He knows exactly, where we should end up. And, he's very focused on making it better all the time. So it's wonderful to have a partner.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's great. And I know that, I was looking around, I was thinking of Hannah Dodge.
Yes. And
Because she lived here and she's so popular in
absolutely.
our town. And
It gives the house such an added level of meaning to
yeah.
have.
So do you think she's still here?
I don't know, we can go look for her.
Yeah, we could do that. Well, we're looking for Bob and Tom.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Hello.
Well, I have to say that I enjoyed this so much. Didn't you, Bob?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so maybe, Mary, you could
Yes.
give us an idea how to get in touch with you, how to, to come to the inn.
Absolutely. We have a website called thelittletoninn.com, THELYTTLETONINN.com. And you can see the rooms, you can see the inn, you can actually make reservations and do all your booking online if you'd like.
Great.
You can always call on the phone as well, 978-486-4715, and we're happy to talk to you anytime.
Good. We'll remember that too,
Absolutely.
won't we? Okay, well, I guess we're off, and
Thank you so
we
much.
enjoyed
Thank
it
you.
so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
love the place. You've done a great job.
That's it.
And so,
Come for breakfast sometime.
oh yeah, we will. We will. All right.
Okay, thanks again.
Thanks,
Thank
Mary.
you.
Mwah. See you later.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Have a good day. So for all of us here on Littleton Community Television, Channel 8, thanks for watching. And don't forget to hug a senior. She's supposed to open the door. Did you ring the doorbell? Hello? That's how we keep it.
That's good. We'll cut to the inside shot from here, so don't worry. All right, good.
We are not hiring you to be an actress in our show.
They're gone. Let's talk about them.
That's it.
Who are those two deadbeats in his house? Are they trying to get a free night or what?
That's right. That's right. What? No food?
Yeah, right.
We did forget to feed him. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Back again, just like a bad Betty.
Like glue. Yeah. There you go. Wait a minute. You're gonna ring the door bell.
Okay.
We're gonna belong to Mary's. is what we're doing.
Okay.
Don't walk this way. Walk that way.
Okay.
This is the car coming. Then don't walk that way. You're tuned to Channel 8, Littleton's community television station. Programming produced about your town, your friends, and your neighbors. Issues that matter to you, and community events that will only be seen right here on Channel 8. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy tonight's programs.
Not really. She's like, oh, okay, really? She's like, really?